Hi everybody. Let's talk here about that big bad B minor chord, yeah? It comes up a lot in the key of D. It's a crucial chord, and so if you want to play in that key, you really have to learn how to play it. However, I'm going to give you some tips here for the bar chord, right? I've already told you can always play B minor 7, and that's fine. But if you were somebody who is really trying to work on those bar chords, here are my tips for you. First of all, remember you can build up to the full B minor chord by playing the B minor 7 with a bar. And by a bar, what I'm doing is I'm taking my index finger, making it super, super straight. I'm not bending it. I'm keeping it straight, and I'm pushing it up past the fretboard. See that? So my finger's kind of sticking out the side. That's because it's going to allow me to use my knuckles to hold those chords down. That's going to be a little bit easier than the flat of my finger, right? So that's my first tip. Pick it up over there, add the middle finger if that's helpful. That always gives me a little bit of extra oomph. And the last thing while I'm talking about my finger here on the fretboard is I'm going to twist it just a little bit, right? Not super, this is an over exaggeration here. Even this is an over exaggeration, but I'm just not going to go flat down. I'm going to turn it to the side a little bit, which is also going to give me a little bit of nice extra leverage. Now, as I do that, I'm going to check in with my thumb. Notice my thumb is not directly opposite. I'm not pinching. I'm rotating this over a little bit, and I'm moving my thumb down. So now it's more of this sort of a feel as opposed to this pinching feel. You want to avoid that because that's just going to aggravate the muscles between your index and your thumb, and it's just going to make it hard and painful, right? Some other folks have found that playing bar chords or playing chords in general with their thumb parallel to the neck feels good. Doesn't feel great for me. Everybody's hand is different though, so just know that's an option to try if you want. I like to go kind of opposite this way. When I add the ring finger, that creates even more stability between my index and my thumb. So in some ways, it almost makes it easier to add that ring finger in there sooner than later. Because I've pushed those fingers up past the fretboard, my ring finger doesn't have quite so far to go. If I'm back here, well, it's sort of stretching a little bit more, right? If it's up here, my hand is already up this way, all right? So that's what's happening here on the instrument. There are lots of ways. You do want to make sure that you're not trying to overcompensate with your wrist. Your wrist should always be between your instrument and you. It is not going to help. If anything, it's going to make everything more strained to put your wrist forward, so keep it back. Notice that I'm also not contorting it this, I'm not using my chicken wing, or it's not coming out this way to the side. You really want the positioning of your hand to be as if you're just, opening the oven here, right? Coming this way to pull on these chords. While I'm here, I'm going to also recommend that you pull back with your whole arm a little bit. You don't want to tense it up at all, but from your elbow, you want to feel that instrument coming back towards you. And at the same time, you can tuck your elbow here so that you're creating a little bit of pressure on the bottom of the body. And that's then also creating this kind of push and pull that takes the stress off of your hands. All right? That said, it just takes time, right? I know everybody hates that answer. It takes time to build up some strength. Once you've got a position that feels good with all those points of contact, I recommend not push-ups, but push-ons, right? That's simply pushing on, strumming, then release. Don't take your fingers off, but just relax them so they're not engaging the strings. Relax your body. Engage it again. Relax, right? That's going to build a little bit of strength there, and it's also going to remind you to keep you from tensing up too much, right? You just want to do the minimal amount of engagement to get the sound that you need. Don't do more because that's inefficient, right? Just as much as you need. Likewise, you can take your hand off entirely, shake it out, bring it back. And that'll give your hand time to practice finding the chord from something else, right? Or you can start to work it in to a progression, like we've been doing this pop progression, for example, one of many progressions that a B minor can be in, right? Start to work that in a little bit so you get that practice. All right? See if those tips help. See if there's anything else that you're finding is helpful. Leave it in the comments below. Or if there's something that's just still not quite working for you, leave a comment as well. And I'll come back to this as needed. Enjoy. One more quick thing. If this video was helpful to you, I encourage you to consider becoming a member. It's a great way to say thank you, to help keep this channel going, and also to enjoy some extra perks and resources on your musical journey. You can learn more by clicking join below next to the subscribe button, and I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much.